embedded in the core of you. You are your very best teacher. And until you really embrace that, you will be running helter and skelter thinking someone else has your answer. We who are here holding your hand, we absolutely do not have your answer, but we can point the way. We can say, over there. It's kind of like we're all becoming Vanna White. Turn the letter around. You've got to come up with the word and the phrase, and we just point the way. The most we'll do is turn the letter around. And anyone who's telling you they have your answer, careful. More than likely you'll be misled. So hopefully now you've got your coins. All right, got them? You're going to hold them very carefully, cup them in your hand, and you're going to start shaking them. And you're going to think of your question. Now, what's your question? Your question has to be kind of broad. A question, for example, could be something like, what could I expect if I go to Fort Lauderdale to take a flight? What could I expect? That probably was my question, because even early on, I got a sense of how do you ask stuff, you know? You can't give it an either or. Should I go to the Fort Lauderdale airport or the Miami airport? You won't get an answer. It's not like that. You would get that answer if you went to the local psychic downtown. She'd come up with something. He or she would come up with something for you, and I don't guarantee it would be the right answer, because they wouldn't access the fact that, you probably shouldn't go to any airport. So ask kind of a broad question. What could I expect? What could I expect if I buy that house on Sunnybrook Lane? So you hold the question. Ordinarily, I actually have a whole book. Each year I have a whole notebook devoted to this year's I Ching musings or contemplative findings. And so I would actually have written it down. What can I expect if I buy that house on Sunnybrook Lane? Matter of fact, when I joined this radio station, you bet your boots I consulted the I Ching. Is this for my highest good? Can I make a proper contribution? What could I expect? I probably asked it a few different ways because it was an important thing for me. And quite frankly, I was tired of false starts, as I think many of you are. You've had a lot of false starts and upside-down beginnings. So as we gain more life experience, you want it to be better and better. So you're going to ask, what can I expect? And I remember I probably at some time should pull out that writing and bring it into the gentleman that owns this station, because it was profound and helpful. And here I am. So I would ask definitely, what could I expect? All right, so here you are shaking, and you then ideally, now see, sometimes I'm one for honoring the whole tradition. When I throw my coins, I actually throw them onto a red napkin, because that's what one of the masters said, and it felt good to me. In other words, it's a mark of respect. I also keep my I Ching books in a library, but they're above my head. They're like the shelf above, another subtle mark of respect. Some masters suggest you wrap the books in silk. I use them too frequently, and I don't have that patience. So that didn't feel good to me. Didn't feel right. Wasn't my truth. So here I go. I'm holding that thought. What can I expect if I purchase that house on Sunnybrook Lane? And I throw the 3 coins. Now, as you look down, you will see heads or tails. And heads are what we call a yang line. It's a straight line. Tails are a broken line. So let's suppose with these coins, you have two heads. Everybody with me? You got two heads and a tail. Got it? Two heads and a tail is a whole yang line because you've got two. So you're going to be drawing a little house. And a house begins with the foundation. You build a house from bottom to top. So you're going to draw a straight line about an inch long, just a horizontal straight line. Okay, because you have two heads and one tail. Now, take the coins back up. Again, hold the thought, very focused. Don't have the TV on, for heaven's sake. If there's a lot of distractions, the energy can't be as pure as you need it to be. So you've picked a quiet place, and you're now thinking again, what can I expect if I buy the house on Sunnybrook Lane? You shake it, let it go onto the whatever you've shaken it onto. Now let's suppose you have three tails, okay? So you've got a broken line. So you draw right above the bottom line a broken line. So that broken line, all in all, is about an inch, okay? So you got, say, half an inch on one side, half an inch on the other side, and a little space in between. And at the right side of that line, put a little dot, just a little dot, because you had three tails. Three of anything is going to get a dot, and it means the line has to change. We'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to keep building the house. Pick the coins back up again. Think, what can I expect if I purchase the house on Sunnybrook Lane? Shake it up. Okay, let them go. And now you have two tails and one head. Okay? That's what you got. That means you simply have a broken line above the first broken line. So now you have three lines drawn. You've got a straight line, then you have a broken line with a dot, and now you have simply a broken line. And you have what is called a trigram. You have the beginning of your answer. Okay, pick the coins back up. Again, hold the thought. What can I expect if I buy the house on Sunnybrook Lane? Shake them up. And now let's see what you got. Shake them out. You have now three heads. I'm making this up as I go. You have three heads, okay? Straight line, because heads are straight line. It's a yang line. You're going to put a little dot after the end of the line. Okay, so now we've got a straight line, a broken line with a dot, another broken line, and a straight line with a dot. Now you've got two more lines to go here for your complete answer. Pick your coins up again, shake them up, holding with intensity. What can I expect if I buy the house on Sunnybrook Lane? Okay, throw the coins. What'd you get? You got two heads and one tail. Okay, you now have another straight line, just like the bottom line. Okay. All right. Pick them up again. Shake them up. What can I expect if I purchase the house on Sunnybrook Lane? Okay. Let's see here. Going to shake them out. You have one tail. No, we're going to do it two tails. Two tails and one head. Two tails and one head, which would be a broken line. Got it? So now we've got from the bottom up, straight line, broken line with a dot, a broken line, no dot, a straight line with a dot, a straight line, and a broken line. Okay? All right. To the right of everything you just wrote, you're actually going to make a separate new house. So you begin from the bottom up again. You're going to draw a straight line on the bottom because that's what you've got on the left. You're going to cover that up with your finger so you don't get discombobulated. Now you see a broken line, and the dot says that line has to be changed into its opposite. So you draw on right above the first straight line, you draw your second unbroken line. Okay, so you have unbroken and unbroken. Cover up those two so you don't get confused, and just bring over to the right the broken line. Keep going on up the ladder. Now you see you have a straight line with a dot. Okay, you're going to break that line because the opposite is a broken line. You're going to come on up. You have a straight line, carry it over. You have a broken line. So your answer, you have 2 hexagrams potentially as your answer. So the answer, actually, you have to go look it up in an I Ching book. So I'm going to help you here. So the first hexagram, all right, first hexagram we've got is, it's called Tui over Chen. So that's what it is. It's 2 parts to it. It's Tui over Chen, and the number that it resonates to, so part of your answer is actually number 17. Okay? The second hexagram that you've drawn is Kan over Tui. And that gives you number 60. Okay, so here we go. Here's your answer. Should you buy this house? The bottom line, well, I'm going to take you first to number 17. And let's just float around in number 17 for a minute. And some of you actually have I Ching books. Whatever you've got, start there. Start there so you can follow along with me today. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so the answer actually is something called following. And it is well to leave the control to others and adapt to the situation. Keep a low profile right now. Harmonize with existing conditions. Now, that hasn't really clearly showed you yet. So you would read a little further. And I would read, if you are stubborn, clinging to the old, how will you be free to connect with the new? So I would be asking you, are you clinging to your old house? If you're clinging to the old, you can't buy the one on Sunnybrook Lane. So it's not saying do or don't, it's bringing you deeper. And then it's saying, don't be deceived about those who follow you for ulterior motives. Keep your aims very clear. So that could be, I would suggest, who's prompting you to move? Is this the local realtor because they need a commission? What is it? What's happening here? That's, again, it's bringing you deeper. It's just asking further questions. What's happening? Take a look. And then it goes on to say, so then it moves to the final whole little house that you built, which was number 60. And it's saying that there's something shocking going to happen. And it's asking, are you living your inner truth? So again, someone like me would be saying, what is your real truth? Do you want to leave this house? It's very interesting. A few weeks ago on the air, when I was talking about the love sections of a home, this precious woman who had been married for 52 years was saying, she was asking, where's her love